Welcome to the Valley of the Kings. Now, it's a very confusing place to visit if you want to enjoy it properly. So, I'm going to try and give you some little secrets. Now, the Valley of the Kings is split up. We've got some quiet places. We have the Tomb of I, and there is down some wadis, which is the dry riverbeds, some other places where people generally don't tend to go. I'm going to give you some advice about selecting your three tombs. Currently, the ticket entitles you to three tombs. You can also pay for extra tickets to go in Ramsey 6 and Tutankhamun. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Carter House. Now, the Valley of the Kings is divided into two bits. We have the Western Valley, which is on the left-hand side, and then we have the main valley, and you can see all those little white lines and blocks. Now, those are the layouts of the tombs, and this map is taken from the Theban Mapping Project. And I really recommend that website as something to go to have a look beforehand and get an idea of what you'd like to see, which tombs you'd like to go into, so that you can get a plan going. Now we're going into the Western Valley. Now, the Western Valley is not made up with a tarmac road. It's a very quiet place to go to, and it's sometimes called the Valley of the Monkeys as well. It's about 2 kilometres from the main ticket office, and it's like it used to be when Howard Carter was excavating. Very, very quiet, hardly anybody goes there. There's actually only one tomb open at the moment, which is the Tomb of I. There is another tomb in that valley, which is Amenhotep III, and the Japanese are currently excavating. And if you look at their website, you can see some really nice pictures of what the restoration and conservation that they're doing. Inshallah, that may be open in the future. But let's have a look at the Tomb of I. Now, who was I? Now, I is from a family that was very powerful. Amenhotep III, which I think most people have heard of, the son of Tutmosis IV, married a lady of common descent. He proudly boasts on some scarabs that she is the daughter of these nobles, Yue and Fue, and they have no titles, nothing, they're not viziers or anything like that. They are just common people, and he's very proud of this. Now, she had a brother who was called I, and he was married to a lady called Te. So we have this family relationship, brother-in-law of the king, but he never mentions that. So it's obviously not a big deal to be brother-in-law of the king. The extended family of the royal family is not important enough. You have to be there of your own merits. Nobody ever says that they're the king's brother. They'll say that they're the king's son or the king's wife, but not the king's brother. So it seems that once your brother becomes pharaoh, your royal status disappears. So brother-in-law is even less important. Now, the next generation of this family, we start getting a little complicated. Amenhotep III, his son was Amenhotep IV, and he changed his name to Akhenaten and started what is commonly referred to as the Amarna Revolution, where he tried to replace the gods of Amun, Mut, and Khonsu and Ptah and so forth with just one god, the Aten. And he moved his capital down to Amarna. He changed the art. Lots of things happened during this time. And he was married to Nefertiti. And we've all heard of Nefertiti, the iconic bust in the Berlin Museum. Now, Nefertiti had a sister, Nujmet, and we there may be two ladies by this name, but that seems unlikely. But it seems that she was also married to Horemheb, who comes into the story later on. She's not significant of herself, but the fact that Horemheb is related into this family is significant. On the other side, Kaya is a secondary wife of Akhenaten. So Akhenaten is married to Nefertiti, who we believe is from this Yue and Thue family, and to Kaya. This Yue and Thue family also have another daughter, Nojmet, who is married to Horemheb. So this is a very significant and powerful family. Further generations going down, Akhenaten has two sons, Smenkhare and Tutankhaten. These are by his wife Kaya. Smenkhare is associated with him in a co-regency. Now, when I say this, you have to understand that Egyptology is one of those things that attracts a lot of controversy, and a number of people believe that Smenkhare didn't really exist as a person, and his throne name is just it's the same alternative name that Nefertiti used. So then they're the same person. Other people believe it's two separate people. I'm in that camp. I believe that Smenkhare was a real living male and that he married one of the 6 daughters of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Tutankhaten also married one of these 6 daughters. He married the third one, Ankhesepaten, and they had 2 children. There were 2 stillborn fetuses found in his tomb. Akhenaten is also supposed to have married one of his own daughters as well. So there's quite a lot of complication going on in relationships there. So just to reiterate, we have Akhenaten married to Nefertiti, who has 6 daughters. One of them, Ankhesepaten, is married to Tutankhamen. Tutankhamen is the son of Kaya and Akhenaten, so he's marrying his half-sister here. Now, something happened. Something terrible happened, and the entire royal family were decimated. All the heirs disappeared, and all that they were left with was Tutankhamen. And they changed his name, and they changed Ankhesemen's name, and brought them back to Thebes. Now, what happened? There is some thought that maybe plague came to the capital city, that when he was celebrating one of his big jubilees, and a lot of foreign visitors came, they brought plague. But all of these people seem to disappear off the horizon. Akhenaten, Kaya, Nefertiti, Smenkhare, all gone. The 2 eldest princesses gone. The 3 youngest princesses gone. So we're left with just Tutankhamen and Ankhesemen being manipulated, because he was only a young boy of 9. Now, who was he being manipulated by? His great uncle, his grandfather, his grandfather-in-law. The relationships are quite complicated, but obviously and the other person was Horemheb, were manipulating Tutankhamen. So we have all these relationships going on. Now, one of our last lines is I to Ankhesemen. What happened there? Well, when Tutankhamen died, Ankh-Sarman wrote to the king of the Hittites. Now, this is a little bit equivalent to Princess Elizabeth writing to Hitler. This is the daughter of a royal family writing to their traditional enemies. And she said to the king of the Hittites, "My husband is dead, and I have no son. They say you have many sons. Give me one of your sons, and I will make him king over all of Egypt." Well, the king of the Hittites was a tad surprised about this, and he sent an envoy, and she sent another letter, saying, "Why do you doubt me? Do you think I would humiliate myself like this, if it wasn't true?" So the king of the Hittites was like, well, he had plenty of sons to spare, so he sent one along. And he didn't make it. He was accidentally murdered by the Egyptian army. Now, who was running the Egyptian army at this time? Horemheb. So there seems like there's a lot of going on. The only other thing we know about Ankh-Sarman is a double cartouche ring that is in the Berlin Museum, which has her name and I's name. So was this poor young girl married to I in order to legitimize his claim to the throne? We don't know, but she disappears off the scene around this time as well. So we don't know what happened to her, and of course everybody would love to find a lot of these ladies and identify them. There are various things saying that they have found them, but to be honest with you, the only mummies that I would say have been 100 questions asked, identified, are Uantua and Tutankhamun, because these are the only people that were found in their tombs. Everybody else was rewrapped, relabeled, found this, there, and other bits and pieces. I'm not sure you can really, for 100% sure, say that the others have been identified. But I could be wrong.